Okay, I think we're live. So I've got the house to myself. My 15-year-old son is with his girlfriend Ruby. She's just come. They've gone to the room. So it means that I got some time. I want to do two lives, one on here, one on keto. But let's just see how we're getting on with this one. So I still don't know who sent me these items. We've got this lovely car sprinkler. I think it was Tony or Elizabeth. This is the other one, the blue suede shoes. Sprinkler. Very cute. Absolutely love it. Obviously it goes here, takes pride of place. And there's a book. Where have I hidden the book? I'll have to show you. Aha. Let's get it. Oh, so how is everyone? And there's a book. Elvis the Legends, which is I'm going to read off some of this book, but not now. It's got loads of stories in it. I'm going to read one off to you as well. Not today. Right. So thank you, whoever sent me these things, guys. Please, I'll take these sandals off. Let me know who you are. So how is everyone? We did a very long walk with Tino, which I loved. And we also did a video that I posted, and we joined together live. So I did on the last live we did, the one where we were discussing a few things, but the topic of the Smiths was what I've started doing now on the live walks, where I'm joining you on a video that we've done. I'm starting to ask some questions, so we interact a bit, and I was asking you your opinions of the topic of the Smiths, because I would say, and I'm not sure how many of you. Oh, hi Emily. I'm not sure how many of you agree, but I do think the topic with the EFM, with MMK, a little bit with Kyle, and the topic, yeah. So, what is the basis of the topic? The basis of the topic is who has at times betrayed Elvis, that grew up with him, that was close to him, that was around him, not just related. It could be an ex-wife, an ex-girlfriend, could be Memphis Mafia, it could be Colonel Tom Parker, it could be Dr. Nick. Who are the people that were close to Elvis that betrayed him? So I'm getting sent a lot of comments. We've had a massive reaction. Obviously the other channels are not happy with us. Remember, we're called Defending Elvis, yeah? So when we were doing a walk, I was trying to ask people questions, how they feel about that topic, because a few of you have told me that you feel that we've said enough. How many of you here? I would say probably most of you will probably say that we've said enough. I have a different view, and I'll explain to you why in a minute. We are going to be doing the Priscilla video now. This popped up a couple of hours ago. It's an AI Priscilla video, but I thought, yeah, let's review it. Why not? So, Carolyn, what do you want to watch? So, all right, you're talking about something else. All right, waxwork. All right, okay, yeah, waxworks. Yeah. I think Terry did a video on the waxworks, didn't you, mate? Let's have a look. So yeah, I went on to Matthew's channel last night. That was fun. Matthew at Hillbilly Cat. Actually, did I tell Matthew we're live? Let's remind Matthew. Matthew, let's have a look. All right. Someone's messaged me. Let me reply to them. Sorry, only Reg. Sorry, Reg only. Reg only. L8. All right. Someone's asking me. I'm trying to order a turbo for my daughter's car. Ford Fiesta EcoBoost 1.0 petrol EcoBoost boost, and it's a 2013 Okay, we're probably going to message me again. So, guys, what are your views? What are your views, guys? Do you feel that we've done enough on the topic? Now, when I say on the topic, I don't mean the Smiths. I mean, what I mean is discussing people that have betrayed Elvis, that were close to him. That is the point. I've worked about you. Come on, guys, let's answer some questions. Let's tune in, baby. So where we're on. Let me just tell Hillbilly Cat that we're live. I didn't have enough time to tell everyone. Sorry. Hillbilly Cat. Right. Okay. Live, and then let's tell Joanne as well. I did tell a few people, not many. It's a bit of a rush job. I had to sort of answer the door from. Okay. It's never going to go away. We will always be more to defend. Yeah. So, hi Pamela. Let's have a look. So let me just read that comment there. Carolyn, people catching wind of the horrifying things that have been said about Elvis. They're very unforgiving. This generation's don't research. Right. Okay. I do agree that a lot of Elvis fans, and I've only discovered this recently, haven't took the time to really to. Even me, I don't read loads of books, guys, but I do read some. You know, so I'll pick up a book, I'll read a section of it. I'll read a lot on Google, Instagram, things that are sent to me on Facebook, through your comments. I would say 80% of the things I learn are from your comments, because Elvis fans' comments are amazing. They're very detailed. People have put a lot of time and research into their comments. I'm always fascinated by the comments we receive on our channel, on our YouTube channel. And that is why in the last 3-4 weeks, I've been posting loads of comments onto our Facebook page, Defending Elvis. Please join the Facebook page, Defending Elvis. It's excellent. It even has a 24-hour chat if you click the chat button. Now, I think it might have been Dan. Actually, did I tell Dan we're live? Let's tell Dan we're live. Dan, I did say to Dan, you know, what do you think, mate? You know, do you think we've said enough? Because what when I start getting a feeling of something, I do start asking people questions. I think Elizabeth's watching. I think she is, anyway. So what I tend to do is, if I start wondering about things, I send a few questions up. You might, every now and then you'll notice that out of the blue, Louis sends you a question, because I'm airing things out. Yeah. Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it, Carolyn? And I have been reading a lot more of my Facebook stuff recently, because we're interacting a lot more. So did I tell Dan? I think I did. Let's have a look. Yeah, I told Dan. So Dan was like, you know, maybe we've said enough on this topic. Yeah, I understand how he feels, because when you are talking about the same topic over and over again every day for over a week, it does feel a bit intense. It does feel like, all right, enough's enough. But then I will receive dozens of messages, more information. People will send me more pages. Obviously, I do read this. I do read this book, of course. But like, someone sent me a page. Oh, what was the page number? I think it was 872? Let me see if I can find it on my pictures. So people will send me page numbers, and I'll go, oh, let's read that. So then I'll read it, and it brings me back to the topic. Now, the problem we've got is the betrayal of Elvis that has been done by family members, people close to him, Priscilla, you know, people that grew up with him, stepbrothers, ex-girlfriends a little bit. Yeah, only a little bit, because I'm quite a big fan of most of Elvis's ex-girlfriends. You know, I love Linda, I love Ginger. You know, obviously Anita Ward, June Junico. You know, the well-known ones, I'm quite a big fan, except for Priscilla. I'm not a fan of Priscilla. I don't hate her, but I just don't agree with so many things that she did wrong. I struggle with Priscilla. Yeah. So I did say to Dan, look, the problem we've got, Dan, is that the betrayal has done so much damage and is so ingrained in Elvis's culture. So let's face it, once the book Elvis, What Happened came out, and then you've got all the tabloids are all jumping in on that. Years of tabloids trashing Elvis. Really, they're really playing on the negative stuff and really milking it, making money out of it. The whole point of these tabloids and magazines and sort of short TV news clips and stuff is to take the piss out of Elvis and really get viewers, sell newspapers, sell magazines, sell Sunday papers, get people watching these trashy interviews like Barbara Walters, stuff like that. Yeah. So then I'm like, but, you know, then we've got the lies about Elvis faking his death, which is also obviously in that book. But what I'm trying to say is that the damage is so deep set with these books. Never apology. There has never been a proper apology for any of these books. There's other books, but let's just talk about these two. There has never been an apology from anyone. Nobody, including the Smiths. Now, there's been half-hearted things. I think the Stanleys have shown a bit of regret, haven't they? Dave did a bit. I think Rick did a bit. Yeah. So let me just check. Just check this reply. So the thing. Right. Okay. Someone's talking to me. It's all right. So I struggle with, guys. The bit I struggle with is there's never been apologies. There's if anything, the opposite. You've had people like Dave Hebler, obviously Billy and Joe. They stand by what they said. They stand by the books. They stand by the trash interviews. They stand by the newspaper tabloids, the stupid, ridiculous stories. Obviously, I do know that obviously Billy took back his fake Elvis thing that he did, but he took it back years after it happened. So there was a lot of damage. So the problem we've got is this, like Carolyn just said, it destroyed his reputation of, yeah. Now we have to take that carefully. Elvis has two reputations. He has the amazing reputation of how gifted he was, how beautiful he was, how charming and funny and generous, and his Christianity, his voice, his movies. You know, there's all the good stuff. Yeah, 100%. So, but then you've got the trashy stuff, which is really the same stuff repeated over and over again, and it stems the trashy bullshit that people say, you know, especially non-fans say about Elvis. Will always be repeated. It's been obviously redone in books and in on YouTube channels, in movies, in stuff like that. Yeah. So you ain't getting away from it. So the damage there, you can't undo the damage. This is the problem. This is what the families don't realize. When they were all being offered large amounts of money to betray Elvis in books and tabloids, and they're all grabbing the money. Cash grab is the way Joe says it. You can't undo what they did. So in the late 70s, 80s, 90s, noughties, whatever it is, everyone's grabbing the money. Don't forget, everyone was grabbing the money, not just the Smiths and the Stanleys. The ex-girlfriends were doing it. The ex-wife, big time. You know, the ex-wife, Priscilla Presley, reinventing everything. So how do you undo it? And I'm a real believer. Obviously, you can't undo it. You can't change the good reputation either, all the good stuff. Yeah, the singing, the voice, the looks, the personality, the charm. So for me, a massive breakthrough would be anybody apologizing and showing regret and remorse. Anybody. Now, we can only point the finger at living people. So Priscilla, Dave Hebler, Billy and Joe Smith, yeah, Dave, Stanley. It's the living people that can help at least attempt to undo some damage so we can clear Elvis's name. Wouldn't it be amazing if Priscilla went on TV and said, I admit it, I twisted the truth. There were many lies. I didn't save Gracelands, but I helped. It wasn't my idea to do the Living Museum, but I helped. Because I accept that Priscilla, once she got on the bandwagon, you know, she took over from the other people that were trying to save it, trying to relaunch it as a living museum, dealing with the banks and stuff, dealing with Memphis City. I do accept that eventually Priscilla jumps on the bandwagon and joins in, and then she probably did help. Once Priscilla did get hold of the reins with a team of people, you know, banks, advisors, she probably did help. But it wasn't her idea. She didn't save it. Elvis is not the love of her life. Do you get it? Her saying she wants to be buried next to Elvis is laughable, yeah, because they had split up so many years before he died, and the way she treated him after he died. So in the end, after really thinking things through, I got to the point where I just thought, no, we can't let it go. People, like, I think Dan was hinting, you know, just let it go. I'm like, you can't let it go. It's too big. The thing with the books is too big. The trashy documentaries, All the King's Men, the E-True Hollywood stuff, is too big. So it will always keep coming up. Like, we've mentioned it here. We mentioned it on my last 10 videos. Because when we're discussing the betrayal of Elvis and defending Elvis, remember we're called Defending Elvis, it keeps coming up. The people closest to him trashed him. The people closest to him let him down. The people closest to him betrayed him. Right up until the day he died. You know, there's very complicated circumstances leading to why Elvis died. Yeah? So my answer to Dan was, we can't let it go. We can't let it go. We do have to keep bringing it up. Now, that doesn't mean we have to keep discussing the same topic over and over again, but it means that any topic we pick, indirectly, it will always go back to who betrayed him. Always. Whether it be Memphis Mafia, Billy Joe, Priscilla, Dave Stanley, Ricky Stanley. Get it? It's always going to come back to Elvis trusted loads of people around him, and they all let him down. The few that didn't let him down, you know, I'll give you an example. Anne Margaret, yeah, Larry Geller, Charlie Hodge, you know, the few that didn't let him down. Susanna Lee is someone we've been talking about, yeah. The few that didn't let him down stand out. We remember them. We remember them. So the people that, you know, that did not let Elvis down will be remembered in a good way. They will go to their graves with no guilt. With no guilt. Yeah? The people that trashed him for money and let him down, betrayed his trust, broke pledges, they're going to have to face their maker when they go to heaven. To the pearly gates, guys. That's just how it is. So we will, unfortunately, we can't let go of these topics. We have to keep rehashing them and bringing them up. They will always, in some way, like a woven web, they will always relate to anything I do. So at the moment, we're gonna review a video from Priscilla, an AI video, and you watch while we're watching this video. I haven't watched it, by the way, guys. While we watch it, it'll relate back to all these other topics that we've been covering in the last few weeks. I have another AI video that I was hoping to do on the Keto channel. That is Red West and the Memphis Mafia, and that is AI as well. So, what was that? Yeah, Vincenzo, we did discuss that, didn't we, a few weeks ago? Right, I want to try and get on with this because I want to do part 2 on the Keto channel. So let's go.
Of course, and I understand that, but I'm thinking entirely different. You know, this was a home, a beautiful home, and it was never going to happen. It was never going to be sold, ever, ever.
Everything you think you know about Priscilla Presley and Graceland.
So that very little clip, she's like, I was never going to sell it. I stopped them from selling it. I don't believe it. Let's keep going.
Is a lie. And I'm about to prove it to you with documents that will completely shatter the narrative she's been feeding the world for over a year. The headline screamed, "Priscilla Presley takes control of Graceland and Elvis's widow fights to protect family legacy." But here's the truth that nobody wants to tell you. Priscilla Presley doesn't control Graceland. She never took control of Graceland. In fact, she's been fighting desperately to get back even the smallest piece of influence over the empire she helped build, and she's been losing that fight spectacularly. The woman who's been positioning herself as the protective guardian of Elvis's memory, she's actually been locked out of every major decision about Graceland for over a year now. The person who really controls everything, and I mean everything, is Riley Keough, Priscilla's own granddaughter.
So guys, just so you know, everything we do on this program is for entertainment purposes only, not facts, just a discussion, just a sharing of opinions. We plead the First Amendment. I laugh every time I say that. Freedom of speech. So please understand that we have the right to discuss these things. So obviously this is, I've never watched this. It looks like it's going to be very interesting. It's obviously, a big part of it is Riley Keough. This is artificial intelligence, so it could all be bullshit. Let's hear what they have to say.
And the legal documents prove that Riley has more power over Elvis's legacy than Priscilla could ever dream of having again. So why has Priscilla been lying about this? Why has she been doing interviews talking about protecting Graceland when she legally can't protect anything? Because admitting the truth would mean admitting that she got completely outmaneuvered by a 33-year-old actress while she was grieving her daughter's death. Let me break down what really happened in January 2023, because the story you heard is complete fiction.
So just so you know, guys, this literally only was released 3 hours ago. It's brand new. So let me just say the name of the YouTube channel. It's called Rock and Roll History. I'll be honest with you. Some of the rock and roll history stuff, AI stuff, is okay, but a lot of it is bullshit. A lot of it is really crap, really extreme. No offense, my friend. Some of your stuff is very over the top. We can't prove that any of this is truth at all, or not truth. But it's interesting to review it. That's my attitude.
When Lisa Marie Presley died suddenly, the media reported that there was a battle for control of the estate between Priscilla and Riley. They made it sound like two equal parties fighting for power, with Priscilla eventually winning some kind of victory. Complete nonsense. There was never a battle. There was a massacre. Riley Keough.
Right. Now remember, please don't take this as fact. This is AI-generated stuff. So a lot of it could just be a load of crap. Yeah? So please, you know, let me just I want to get your comments up so I can see them. I find it fascinating, interesting how these sort of AI channels are, where they're getting their storylines from. I always wonder. I always wonder where they're getting their storylines from. But if they're defending Elvis, I do listen to them. So there are quite a few that defend Elvis. Lately, there's been some pretty good defending AI stuff, but there's also a lot of terrible stuff that is really BS. So let's keep going.
Came prepared with legal documents that gave her total control, and Priscilla showed up with nothing but questions about signatures and forged paperwork. The outcome was never in doubt, but Priscilla's people have been spinning it like she had some kind of victory. Here's what actually happened in those.
So here what she's, this storyline is the storyline of this YouTube channel, AI. So it's just said that Priscilla's people were spinning it like she had a victory. Were they? I don't know.
Courtrooms. Riley presented ironclad legal documents establishing her as the sole trustee of everything Lisa Marie left behind. Priscilla challenged the authenticity of the signatures, claiming they were forged.
Okay, so we know that bit is true. Priscilla did challenge it, yeah? Let's keep going.
The court sided with Riley. End of story. Priscilla...
Well, no. I don't think that happened. The court didn't side with anyone. There wasn't even actual proper court action, was there? This is behind the scenes negotiating between what we now have been told was Priscilla, Bridget Cruz acting as her attorney-in-law, yeah, and Riley Keough, and they negotiated a settlement. I think in the end, it was in the interest of Riley to get rid of Priscilla. How do we get rid of Priscilla? Give her some money, pay her legal fees, say that she may be able to be buried in the meditation garden, which we know that most of the fans don't really want that unless they're Priscilla fans, or if they've been brainwashed by the fake fairy tale that Elvis and Priscilla were perfect and it only went wrong because Elvis was unfaithful and took drugs. If they've been brainwashed, they'll believe it. So really what he's just said, that no, there wasn't a court that made a decision. They agreed money terms to get rid of Priscilla.
Lost everything, and Riley walked away with complete control of a $100 million empire.
Even that, guys, it's not straightforward. She did have ownership with her twin sisters when they come of age of Graceland's the building, but the Living Museum, Elvis Presley Enterprises, is 85% owned by a management team, isn't it? By, I can't remember their name, Authentic Brands, all that kind of stuff. Anyone that knows, just put it in the comments. So yes, she owns Gracelands and the land, but the Gracelands is rented to EPE, and the Gracelands do have 85%. So, of obviously Elvis Presley Enterprise, which is different. But so that isn't correct, what has just been said. But let's keep going.
But instead of admitting defeat, Priscilla's camp started this elaborate PR campaign to make it look like she was still relevant, still involved, still protecting Elvis's legacy.
I think that's true. Obviously, she went on to promote the film Priscilla. Yeah, she does go around the world as if she's Elvis's wife. She does speak on behalf of Elvis, which is a bit nuts because she divorced him 4 years before he died. And she was unfaithful numerous times. She treated him very badly when it comes to the divorce settlements, So she wants the public that aren't very aware of their research, the public that can't be bothered to find out the truth, the public that believed every word of this book, Elvis and Me from 1985. Generally, the public have never challenged that book ever. They've always gone along with it. The Elvis fans have challenged it, but the public, they just believe it. They go along with it. The public still treat Priscilla like she is Elvis's wife, or at least widow. She was never his widow.
They leaked stories about her taking control of Graceland. They arranged interviews where she talked about her role in preserving Elvis's memory. They created this entire fiction that she was somehow sharing power with Riley. Why would they do this? Because the alternative was admitting that Elvis's widow, the woman who spent 40 years building his legacy, had been completely sidelined by her own granddaughter. That's not a story that makes Priscilla look good. That's a story that makes her look like she got played by someone half her age.
See, look, it's quite fun to watch in a weird way, but I don't think Riley sidelined her. I think Riley it's pretty simple. Her poor mother died, Lisa Marie. We miss her, God rest her soul. And Lisa Marie had made amendments to the trust, hadn't she, to give everything to her kids, which is pretty normal. Priscilla felt like she had lost power, had it taken away from her, and wanted it back. So Priscilla did everything she could to try and get it back. Eventually, I think Priscilla got to a point where she realised she was not going to get it back, that she had to be just paid off. So I think Priscilla did what she could to get money as much as she could under the circumstances. Priscilla knew that this was going to upset people because she was going against her dead daughter, her wishes, that everything, the trust, the insurance policy went to Riley, Finley, Harper, and if Benjamin had been alive, Benjamin as well. So Priscilla knew this was not good for her reputation. So in the end, she agreed a settlement, I think, so that it would just go away. Yeah. But I do believe it upset the fans, the Elvis fans, the true Elvis fans, the ones that don't run around worshipping Priscilla, because they're like, how does a grandmother go against her own daughter's wishes? the fans feel that Priscilla has been very cold concerning the loss of her daughter, that Priscilla hasn't grieved. Priscilla has got on with her life as if nothing's changed. So I don't think Riley sidestepped her grandmother. I think she probably was given advice. She's very smart herself. She's busy. She's got her own career. She doesn't need money. She's got her own money. I just think that it was pretty obvious that Lisa Marie, no matter what happened after she died, her possessions, her belongings, her trust, her insurance policy was all going to go to her kids. It was never going to go backwards to the grandmother. You know, if Priscilla had intentions of reversing the trust to a different date, like 2010 or 2016, whatever, that was never going to happen. So I do think Priscilla came to a point where she knew she was just going to have to accept money. Give me some money and I'll go away. I now fully believe that Priscilla is an outsider of Graceland. Let's keep going.
The most twisted part is how they've been using Elvis's memory to cover up Priscilla's humiliation. Every time she does an interview, she talks about protecting Elvis, honoring his legacy, making sure Graceland stays true to his vision. But she's not protecting anything. She can't protect anything. She doesn't have the legal authority to make a single decision about how Elvis's name gets used or how Graceland operates. Riley Keough owns it all.
Well, no, she doesn't. 85% of EPE is owned by EPE, but remember, this is AI. A lot of the facts in this percent, so a lot of the things in this are going to be bullshit. This is AI, yeah?
Riley decides what happens to Elvis's image. Riley controls the licensing deals.
No, she doesn't. She's got 15% stake in it.
Riley determines how Graceland functions.
She doesn't. Graceland's the living museum. The business is rented 85% of it to EPE. She has a 15% say in it.
Even gets to decide where Priscilla will be buried when she dies. And
no, that isn't straightforward as well. They've got to deal with Memphis City, the zoning commission. She may have a say in it. I don't know, but no.
Priscilla? She gets to smile for the cameras and pretend she's still relevant while her granddaughter holds all the power.
Well, I think that is happening. I think Priscilla smiling for the cameras, pretending that she's still relevant concerning Elvis and Graceland. I agree with that point.
The lie isn't just about control of Graceland. The lie is about Priscilla's entire role in Elvis's legacy going forward. She's been selling herself as the guardian of his memory when
She definitely has been doing that. She's had a lifetime of acting as if Elvis was her husband that she lost because he died. And then she took over and she was left as a single parent with Lisa Marie, and she saved everything. She saved Graceland, which we know is bullshit. We also know her parenting skills are terrible. She put herself first. She put her own career first. She did a lot of traveling. She sent Lisa Marie off to summer camp when Elvis died. And then eventually we get to Scientology, where Lisa is schooled. And yes, Lisa adjusted and eventually grew to actually like it, which is crazy. But it gave Priscilla free time. Priscilla was very ambitious, very career-minded, loved boyfriends, loved traveling. So I do believe that Lisa Marie was neglected by Priscilla. I also think at the hands of Michael Edwards, the one of Priscilla's boyfriends of 6 to 7 years. There was alleged abuse, sexual abuse. Michael Edwards, the guy off Terminator, the guy who is a model, yeah. But I'm also very worried about Mike Stone, because when Lisa Marie was 3 or 4 years old, when Priscilla demands a divorce, I know that it was Elvis that did the divorce, but the bottom line is Mike Stone told us in an interview, not us personally, but in interviews that he's done, that she told him she was having a divorce. She was leaving Elvis. Even though they secretly dated for a year, she was leaving Elvis. So, yes, I understand Elvis filed for the divorce, but she demanded it. Elvis didn't have a choice. She was going to get her divorce. She had made up her mind.
Actually just a bystander watching someone else make all the decisions. And the worst part? She's been doing it so convincingly that most people still think she has influence over the Elvis empire. But the legal documents don't lie, and what they reveal about who really controls Graceland will
Yeah, Larry, I just said that. I don't know if you just joined us, but I've just said that, my friend. How are you, all right?
shock you. Let me show you exactly what those legal documents say, because when you see the actual language, you'll understand why Priscilla has been lying about her role. These aren't just inheritance papers. These are documents that give Riley Keough more control over Elvis Presley's legacy than Elvis himself ever had. Riley doesn't just own Graceland, she owns the entire Elvis Presley enterprise. Every licensing deal, every...
No, she doesn't. Obviously, I do find with these AI things, they do keep repeating themselves, getting their facts wrong. There's a lot of AI, artificial intelligence bullshit videos out there now. They're not just on YouTube, they're Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everything, X. So we are just reviewing it, guys. Don't take any of this as fact.
commercial use of his name, every product with his face on it, Riley gets the final say.
No, she doesn't. Elvis Presley Enterprises controls all of that. Yeah, she's got a 15% stake. Yes, I know she owns Graceland 100%, but Graceland is rented.
When Netflix wants to make an Elvis documentary, they don't call Priscilla, they call Riley. When a company wants to use Love Me Tender in a commercial, Priscilla's opinion doesn't matter. Riley decides.
No, she doesn't. She has a 15% stake. But let's keep going.
But here's where it gets absolutely insane. The documents specify that Riley has sole and absolute discretion over all business decisions related to the Elvis brand.
No, that's incorrect, but let's keep going.
Sole and absolute. That means she doesn't have to consult anyone. She doesn't have to consider anyone else's input. She can wake up tomorrow and decide to license Elvis's image for toilet paper commercials, and nobody can stop her.
Which is more bullshit. A lot of this is bullshit, guys. But I've seen. Hi, Tammy. Hope you're well. So, Chris, tell me where I'm wrong. I want to hear it, my friend. Put it in the comments. I was going to... let's just keep going.
Think about what that means for Priscilla. She spent 4 decades carefully managing Elvis's image, making sure his legacy stayed dignified, ensuring that his memory wasn't cheapened by tacky commercial deals. All of that careful work, all of that protective instinct, all of that
I want to respond to Chris's comments. Elvis Presley Enterprises is nothing without Graceland and the family. I agree with that. 100%. Let's keep going.
experience, completely irrelevant now. Riley can override 40 years of Priscilla's judgment with a single signature. And Graceland itself? Riley doesn't just own the house. She owns the entire operation. The tours, the gift shops, the restaurants, the special exhibits, everything.
It's not true. It's not true. She owns everything that's there. She owns, but EPE run the Living Museum. They run the Living Museum. It was leased. The Living Museum was leased to Gracelands. To Elvis Presley Enterprise. She's got her 15% stake.
Thing that generates the millions of dollars in revenue every year.
Yeah, so Chris says Riley severed herself from Priscilla. Yeah, I know. That's why she paid her off, I know. Remember, Chris, you've come in a bit late, haven't you, yeah?
She can change how the tours work. She can decide what parts of the house visitors can see. She can alter the entire experience that millions of Elvis fans have when they make...
Yeah, good. There we are. Vincenzo, good point. Elvis Presley Enterprises, Joel Weishanger and the gang, there's more of them, are the ones that stopped the music being used in the Priscilla film, Sofia Coppola's film. Elvis Presley Enterprises, they literally are running the show, yeah? Obviously, the ownership of items and buildings and the grounds, yeah, are 100% Riley Keough and then the twins. But EPE guys, they got them by the balls. They have got Riley by the balls. People don't like to admit it, but it's true.
their pilgrimage to Memphis.
Yeah, I know that Riley has 15%, but 15% is not controlling.
Priscilla went from being the person who decided how
Chris, I've just said it. I know that Priscilla is outed. I know. I've said this in many videos. Once, I've always said that the $1 million was a bargain to get rid of Priscilla. Paying the 400 grand fees was a bargain. Agreeing to this possibility of her being buried in the meditation garden, which I think was a bit of a blag anyway, to be honest with you. I don't think Riley ever really meant it, but I know that they got a good deal. They got rid of Priscilla cheap. That was an absolute bargain. She is out of the circle now. She's gone. She literally is old news. She has lost all power.
Elvis's most sacred space was presented to the world, to being someone who can't even influence what's in the gift shop.
Yeah, so Chris, remember, we're not going to turn this into the Chris show, okay? But I will just say this, that you've sent me your comments that you think Priscilla is in trouble. Prove it. Prove it. All I say to you, Chris, and I said this to you on YouTube, prove the things you're saying, because Chris, I personally believe that you're believing all the bullshit in these artificial intelligent videos. I think you're watching them and you're believing them. I don't think Priscilla is in the kind of trouble you say she is. I do think, you know, she's lost all her money. She's in trouble. She's in, you know, she's got financial headaches, massive ones. I do think the whole thing with Bridget Cruz and GWS auctions is a mess. I also think that concerning Joel Weishenker and EPE and Bridget Cruz, that's all a mess. But the type of things you're saying, Chris, you're over the top, my friend. So sorry, mate. My advice to you, Chris, stop listening to all the artificial intelligence stuff. It's all over the top. This whole thing on here is massively exaggerated and they get a lot of their facts wrong. Almost none of this is correct. So sorry, mate, you're not going to get me on your side. Remember, Chris, you're the one that said that you think Elvis is still alive. Yeah, I've read your post, Chris. You said, a very long post, you think Elvis is still alive. So come on, let's get real, my friend.
That's not just losing control. That's being completely erased from decision-making about something you created. But
yeah, Pamela, it's not... I'm just telling you what you said. Chris, I'm just repeating what you said. It was your comment. I disagreed with you when you said it back then. So you just don't like people disagreeing with you. Pamela, it isn't as simple as just, yes, you did. I read your comment out. Yeah. So let me just go back to what Pamela said. Yeah. Pamela, where are you? Authentic Brands Group, yes, but it's not as simple as that. If you Google it and say who owns Elvis Presley Enterprises, Gracelands, etc., it's more complex than just Authentic Brands Group. Just Google it and you'll see.
the most brutal part of these documents is what they say about Priscilla's future.
Look, right, Chris, look, one of your comments, Riley could send her to jail for what she did, but she is grandmother. It's just over the top. It's over the top. I actually don't think Riley would want to send Priscilla to jail. I remember, I'm no defender of Priscilla, yeah? But all of this stuff is massively exaggerated.
Remember, Riley gets to decide whether Priscilla can be buried in Graceland's meditation garden when...
Chris, you've done this before. I really don't want to make this into the Chris show, but I want to also respond to you. Yes, we've all been fans for a long time. You've just said it. You've brought this up so many times. I've been a fan 50, 60 years. So have I. I've been a fan 50 odd years. Many of the people on here have been fans their whole lives, 50, 60, 40 years, 30 years. Yeah, you're not more of a fan than we are. Yeah. Even if you've done a lot more research and read a lot more books, it doesn't mean that your views are correct. I actually think many of your views are not right, Chris. I also understand that you are very knowledgeable with the setup of EPE, with the setup of Gracelands. I understand that as well. So some of your opinions, Chris, are very over the top. Very over the top. You saying that Priscilla is in serious trouble. She's definitely going to jail, all that kind of stuff. It's just bullshit. It's bullshit.
She dies. The exact language says Riley will, to the extent of her authority, allow Priscilla to be buried in the garden. To the extent of her authority. That's not a guarantee. That's Riley having the power to decide whether Elvis's widow deserves to rest beside him. Let me put this in perspective. Elvis and Priscilla were married. They had a child together. She lived in that house. She opened it to the public, so...
Well, she didn't. She didn't. Now, I do have strong views about this. I'm going to discuss them now. So, Chris, it's okay that we agree to disagree. Don't take it personal, mate. We agreed to disagree, and thank you for your help. Thank you for your help. But I do read all comments. Now, some of your comments that you made, I didn't discuss them. So, but I read every comment. I read every single comment that is posted on my YouTube channel. I never do not read them, ever. Yeah? Right. So, Vincenzo, oh, you've been a fan for 49 years. Yeah, come on, guys. Most of us are in our 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s. Come on, guys. We've all been fans for a long time. None of us are better than the other. I would say some of the younger fans are more knowledgeable. Carolyn has been a fan for 3 years. She's very, very knowledgeable. Aren't you, Carolyn? Yeah? So let's not say I'm better than you. I don't go with that. Let's have a look. So... Carolyn, I agree with you. I agree with you that well, Carolyn, you never read the comment. I just read all of your posts. Carolyn, until you've read the comment that I read, and it was more than one, you can't say that. I would say that Chris is trying to call me out, Carolyn. Chris is trying to call me out. Let's get it right. Yeah. So, and I definitely agree that we're all entitled to our opinions, 100%. And you should know me better than that. Carolyn, you should know me better than that. I 100% think people are entitled to their opinions, 100%. I always let people have their say. So I'm not really sure why you've just said that. Right. She's not going to jail. What she has done is wrong. She's family, and Riley is trying to navigate family. Yes, now that's a much more sensible comment. Yeah? But you did just say about the jail stuff. But I do agree there is wrongdoing from Priscilla. A lot of wrongdoing. Serious wrongdoing. But not to the degree that you take it, Chris. You go too far with it. Owned 85% before it became Grayson Holdings. Complicated. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so Pamela, have you looked it up? There, Nora has been a fan for 4 years. Well done, Nora. Right. What was Priscilla when the Missouri woman tried to put the lien on Grace? Yeah, but do you know what, Tammy? You know that Missouri woman thing, you know, it was just ridiculous. The whole thing was just a silly scam that was over publicized. It shouldn't have even been in the news. It wasn't genuine. It was bullshit. It was a bit of a con artist with some help. It was just the whole thing. It was never going to happen. It was all ridiculous, the whole thing. Yeah, there we are. So all of Elvis's merchandise has EPE on it. I know. Yeah, I've got some of it here. The offence is what I was referring to. Of course, Riley would not put her in jail. She is... Well, no, Chris, no. I don't agree with that. Priscilla has not been... there have been no charges brought against Priscilla. And to be honest with you, I'd be very surprised if there ever are. Yeah, so no. You're talking about Priscilla as if she's an actual criminal that has been charged by the police. She hasn't. She hasn't been charged. So no, I don't agree with that comment. I do agree that there is serious wrongdoing from Priscilla. I do agree with that. But I talk about it week in, week out all the time. I talk about it week in, week out all the time. Don't I always bring up the wrongdoing of Priscilla? So I'm not defending Priscilla. I won't defend her. She's done too much wrong. But but she has not been charged, or the police are not out to get her. And she's not. The only reason she's not going to jail isn't because of Riley. It's just all over the top, Chris. I'm really sorry. It's all over the top. I don't agree with you. All right, let's keep going, guys.
Fans could connect with his memory. She spent decades as the primary guardian of his legacy. And now her own granddaughter gets to decide whether she's worthy of spending eternity next to the man she loved. The documents even specify exactly where Priscilla can be buried if Riley allows it, at the location closest to Elvis without moving existing graves. Riley controls the real estate, even in death. She gets to decide how close Priscilla gets to Elvis.
Well, she doesn't. Again, this is complete bullshit. That isn't the case. Let me just look at a couple of the comments. Let's have a look. So, don't worry, Chris. It's okay that we agree to disagree. So I don't even know why Carolyn's trying to tell me off. This I don't deserve that, Carolyn. I don't know what you're on about. So let's go to the next bit. Yeah, so yeah, there is a breakdown of the management setup with EPE, with, you know, obviously we know about the ownership of Gracelands, etc. There's a breakdown. It isn't just Authentic Brands. Yeah. The other thing is, Vincenzo says Priscilla didn't say Vernon was talking about opening Gracelands. Yeah, we've done quite a few live streams on this. 100%. If you look at the history, Morgan Maxfield, Jack Sodden, Vernon, even Colonel Tom Parker, Memphis City, they were all involved in reopening and saving, preserving Gracelands as a living museum. They knew that it was going to work because many thousands were visiting the graveside every morning. Yeah, so they knew it was going to be a success. It was never a gamble. Priscilla talks about it like it was a gamble. I've always felt that the reason Priscilla was chosen as a front person, yeah, was because of the lien that she had placed on the second divorce settlement that gave her a lot of power. Yeah, this deed of trust that was created to put a debt on Gracelands because Elvis couldn't afford to pay Priscilla, so he agreed to pay her in installments. It was all done by the lawyers. I've always thought that was how Priscilla got her power. So after Elvis died, after Vernon died, obviously Vernon changed a few things a few months before he died. He changed a few more things right at the end of his life concerning, what's her name? Sandy. Oh, I forget her name now. The nurse that became his lover, and his own personal belongings. He made some more changes. So 100%, I agree. Priscilla did not save Gracelands. It was not her idea to open the Living Museum. But I will say this. Once she got involved, so they let her get involved, I believe because of the deed of trust, the lien that was in her name. I do believe that once Priscilla got involved in the museum with the banks, you know, I'm trying to remember the name of the bank. What was the name of the bank? It's coming to me in a minute. I do think Priscilla made a difference once she was allowed to be part of the process. She did make decisions, big decisions, and not for a few months, for decades, for 30 odd years. Yeah. Priscilla 100% had her hands all over it. You know, Priscilla's way was to sue everyone. Don't forget, she also went after some of the Memphis Mafia, the things that Elvis gifted, the money that Elvis gave away. Elvis always did it as a gift for tax purposes. Priscilla tried to sue a few of them, didn't she, to get that money back. Priscilla's way of dealing with things was to sue people. Yeah, everything I say is alleged for entertainment purposes. Let's have a look. So, Lou, from the time to time you open your site, I have only tried to help you. Of course, the police are not after her, but the offence is serious and Riley has to navigate between that. Okay, now please understand this, Chris. I really appreciate your help, but you've also had a go at me quite a few times. Chris, let's be honest. Your comments to me are not always helpful. Sometimes you're having a go at me and I just let it go. And you've had a go at me about 10 times. So yes, you help me, but you also have a go at me. But remember, if you help me, it doesn't mean I owe you. Please know that. The people that help me, it doesn't mean I owe you. We help each other because we want to. That's it. That's all it is. I don't say to people they owe me. If we do things on this channel defending Elvis, I don't say, oh, you owe me. You owe me. I don't do that. We just help each other because we are a team of people with one goal, defending Elvis. We do it because we like each other. We do it because we have a passion to defend Elvis and Lisa and the bloodline. Not because we owe each other, not because we've been fans for longer than each other, just help each other. And you know, Chris, you've had a go at me a few times. So you've jumped on my live stream and you've said a few little diggy comments at me, but then you've taken them back. You say one thing, but then you take it back. You say about Priscilla's going to get arrested, going to go to jail. And now you're saying she's not getting arrested, she's not going to jail. So no, that's not fair. That's not fair. I personally think, Chris, that you, I'm glad you don't think he's alive, Chris. I'm glad you don't, because he ain't, yeah? So let's be real, yeah? I wasn't telling you off. I just felt bad for Chris. Nobody thinks Elvis is alive. She said she didn't believe that. I just thought that was embarrassing for her. Yeah, well, you didn't read the comments, Carolyn. Carolyn, to understand where I am with Chris, you have to go back and read all the comments and see how many times Chris has tried to tell me off and put me in my place. Yeah? Know all the facts before you have a go at me. You're very quick to turn on me, Carolyn, and that's not fair because I'm very good to you. Yeah? So, no, I'm sorry, no. You should know me better. You should know me better. I'm very fair with people. So, Elizabeth says, you bring up the wrongdoing of Priscilla a lot. Yes, I do. Nearly every day. Nearly every day. Now, Carolyn, if you really want to know, I don't think I deleted the comments. I might have done. But I did do a video. Right, I will say this, Carolyn. I did do a video on that. I did do a video that someone had said Elvis was still alive. I did do a video. So if you go back, you'll find it. You'll find it. Because I remember doing it. Well, go back and find the comments. Go back, find the video. Right. The Elvis alive has always been discussed, and I have never said I believe Elvis is alive. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that comment. Right. Louis, when Vernon moved Gladys and Elvis, there is a document was only for 6 plots, 7. Priscilla, let's have a look. I actually think that comment is on my Facebook as well. That's good. We help each other, Chris. This is a community. I don't think anyone owes me anything. Good. Good. We help each other. We help each other. It's always been that way. Come on, we're all equals here, guys. We all love Elvis. We all want to defend Elvis. Isn't that the case?
Whether that spot is respectful or just an afterthought.
Carolyn, if I say I made a video about that topic, I said I did it, yeah? There's no maybe, yeah? It's not based on your memory. If I say I did it, yeah? I'm not a liar, I don't lie.
This isn't just about money or business control. This is about the power to shape how one of America's greatest cultural...
Okay, right. Right, okay. This is my last comment concerning Chris, yeah? You've just said, from time to time you started the site. I had one post. I had only tried to give you info. Yes, you have always given me a lot of great info, Chris, but you've also told me off and had a go at me many times. Yeah, let's get real. Come on.
Icons is remembered forever. And that power doesn't belong to his widow anymore. It belongs to someone who wasn't even born when Elvis died. Riley can decide what stories get told about Elvis. She can choose which documentaries get made. She can determine what
none of this is correct.
Aspects of his life get emphasized or hidden. She controls the narrative about Elvis Presley's legacy, and she can write Priscilla completely out of that story if she wants to.
Now, yes. Now that they've agreed terms, Priscilla has been given her
The
money.
legal
I think someone earlier mentioned the 100 grand yearly fee, which was bullshit, wasn't it? It's what, you know, for 10 years, whichever ends the soonest. Priscilla's out of the box, out of the bubble. Now, it's a bubble, an Elvis bubble. She's not in it anymore.
documents make it crystal clear. Riley Keough has more power over Elvis's memory than anyone in history, including Elvis himself. And Priscilla? She's reduced to hoping her granddaughter stays generous enough to let her have opinions about the legacy she's spent her life protecting. That's the real reason Priscilla has been lying about taking control of Graceland. Because
Well, he's sort of making up his own story now, but let's keep going.
admitting the truth means admitting she's been completely powerless, while
She definitely is powerless now, guys. She has no power now.
someone else holds the keys to her life's work. Once you understand that Priscilla has zero legal power over Elvis's legacy, her behavior over the past year starts to make perfect sense. Every interview, every public statement, every media appearance, it's all been one massive campaign to stay relevant in a world where she's been completely sidelined.
Yeah, right. I agree with that. Yeah, we have noticed in the last 3 months that there has been a massive increase in AI fake bullshit about Priscilla. That's really a PR campaign to really push Priscilla, push this narrative. Yeah, to have her as the victim. Poor me. There's definitely a poor me thing going on. You know, I'm the love of my Elvis is the love of my life. I miss him. You know, we were soulmates. I want to be buried next to the love of my life. There's a big thing there. You know, there's a steak in the fridge, Tony. Sorry, my daughter's just walked in. So yeah, I do think there is a lot going on with Instagram, TikTok, all that kind of stuff, Facebook, YouTube, to try and keep Priscilla relevant. Keep Priscilla relevant. Yeah. We're seeing videos popping up every day that are promoting Priscilla. So I agree with that point.
Look at what she's been doing since losing that court battle. She's been giving interviews talking about her role in protecting Graceland, making statements about preserving Elvis's memory, positioning herself as the wise elder who's guiding the family legacy. But here's what's really happening. She's trying to create influence through public pressure since she has no legal authority left. The most obvious example is how she's been handling the burial issue. In interviews, she talks about being confident she'll be buried at Graceland, saying things like, "I don't know why she wouldn't be buried at Graceland if she wants to be." She's trying to make it sound like it's a given, like, of course she'll rest beside Elvis. But we've seen the legal documents.
Again, well, we know that the chance of Priscilla being buried at Graceland is at best 50-50 at best, I would say. There are no legal documents. I think there's obviously documents of the burial plots. We've all seen it, haven't we? I think it's six. Is it 6 places? I can't remember now. Pretty sure isn't it 6 places? But people think because of that document that she can't be buried there. But is it the zoning commission, the zoning committee? They can change it, guys. They can change it. You offer money, you offer to pay for this charity and fund this project or fund that. In my opinion, for entertainment purposes, just an opinion, yeah, that there is a way around that only 6 plots thing. There's a way around it. And it's just an opinion, guys. I could be wrong.
Riley has complete discretion over that decision, and Priscilla is basically campaigning for her own burial spot through the media. Think about how humiliating that must be. You're 78 years old. You were married to Elvis Presley. You spent 4 decades building his legacy, and now you're doing interviews hoping to pressure your granddaughter into letting you be buried next to your husband.
Yeah, Tammy, your comments are amazing. Yeah, I love your comments you do on Facebook. But I'm telling you now that it is not up to Riley. It is not up to Riley. There's much more to this. There's many more in the decision process than Riley saying yes or no. Honestly, please don't be one of these people that is against Riley, because I fully support Lisa Marie's kids. I fully support Elvis's grandkids. Yeah, I'm not one of these people that only support Elvis. I'm not one of these people that only support Elvis and Lisa Marie. Yeah, I support Elvis, Lisa Marie, Riley, Finley, Harper fully. That is where my stance is on our channel defending Elvis.
That's not the behavior of someone who has control. That's the behavior of someone who's desperate and knows it. The media manipulation has been incredible to watch. Priscilla's people have been strategically leaking stories about her involvement in Graceland decisions, her input on Elvis projects, her collaboration with Riley. They're creating this fiction that she's still part of the decision-making process, when legally she has no more say than any random Elvis fan.
That is true. That is true. She has no say now, guys. 100% I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, look, you guys have, I've told you this is my position as Louis at defending Elvis, okay? I don't think Priscilla should be buried in the meditation garden. I don't. I think she lost the right to be buried anywhere near Elvis the minute they divorced. Yeah, the minute she was unfaithful twice. Yeah, with the dance instructor Mike Stone. But we cannot ignore that Lisa Marie is her daughter, that Benjamin is her grandson. So Priscilla will use that. She will say, I want to be buried near my daughter or my grandson. Now, you guys have already proved, because we've looked back on this, that she never requested to be buried next to Lisa and Benjamin. She's always requested to be buried next to Elvis. When we looked at the Piers Morgan interview a few weeks ago, and we watched it back, and he asked her about where to be buried, it is said, I want to be buried close to Elvis. She does say that. She does not mention being buried next to Lisa and Benjamin. She doesn't mention it. So I think we sort of have proved that she was sort of asking to be buried with as near Elvis as possible. And she doesn't ever mention Lisa and Benjamin, which I think is a shame. If I was Priscilla Presley and I was trying to get in the meditation garden to be buried, yeah, I'd be saying I want to be buried next to my daughter and her and my grandchild. That's what I would be doing. I wouldn't be asking to be buried next to my ex-husband, Elvis, who I left 4 years before he died, and I had loads of long-term relationship, and I seriously mistreated him as well, leading up to his death and after. Because remember, that second divorce settlement was very cruel. Very, very cruel.
And when that doesn't work, she tries the emotional manipulation route. She talks about being Lisa Marie's mother, about understanding Elvis better than anyone, about having lived through the peak of his career.
So let me just respond to Tammy's comment. Yeah, I know about the Shelby County advisement zoning and all that, but because there is a document that says 6 plots, doesn't mean it can't be changed. It does. There's a lot of money changing hands here. So don't hold that document as your hope that Priscilla will not be buried in the meditation garden. I think there's a way around it. It's just an opinion for entertainment purposes.
She's essentially arguing that experience and emotional connection should matter more than legal documents. But courts don't care about your feelings. They care about what's written on paper. Riley Keough was born in 1989. Elvis died in 1977. She has...
So this is a good comment that is brought up. I keep hearing it again. I think some would refuse to go due to her being there. So Priscilla being buried in the meditation garden. 100%, you're going to get some people that will refuse to go. Yeah, because of it. It wouldn't surprise me if there are people protesting at the gates. I guarantee you, if Priscilla gets buried at Gracelands, there will be people protesting at the gates because they're so upset with Priscilla's wrongdoing to Elvis. Because we know the truth. Many, many hundreds of thousands of people know that this is all bullshit. It's a fake fairy tale. But don't forget, the most of the general public don't know about the wrongdoing. Most of the general public have fallen for the brainwashing, the lies from this book. They have been mugged off and tricked. So I would say the majority of people that don't do their research, that don't understand the truth between Elvis and Priscilla, this fake fairy tale romance, will think she deserves to be buried there and they treat her like a wife. Don't forget, there's hundreds of thousands of Priscilla fans that have been tricked and conned into believing this bullshit. They're all going to be there. So no, Gracelands will thrive and be massively successful, even if Priscilla is buried in the meditation garden. Just an opinion. That's how I feel. Priscilla being buried there will upset a lot of people, but it will also bring a lot of people because she gets a lot of people kissing her ass, guys. They still chase Priscilla down the road for pictures and autographs. Yeah. Many people still treat Priscilla like she is something special, like she is Elvis's wife, like she's still married to Elvis. Many people believe her when she says, Elvis is the love of my life, we were soulmates. Yeah? So, sorry, Heather, it will make no difference in the amount of visitors. Yes, it will change. Yeah, it will change. You'll have more of the Priscilla fans coming. You'll lose some Elvis fans that refuse to see her being buried at the meditation garden, but it will always thrive. Graceland will always be a massively successful business forever. Elvis is too loved. Elvis is too loved. It will always be extremely popular. Always, no matter what.
No personal memories of the man, no lived experience of his impact on culture, no understanding of what made him special beyond what she's read in books or...
So there's a good comment. Jamie Riff, Louis, I agree totally that you about the burial, but there is no room near Elvis. He is in between two plots and she will have to be next to Lisa or Ben. I think that's possible. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Heather, she was with Marco Garibaldi for over 20 years. Yeah, I agree with you. I looked into it though. If Priscilla was Elvis's wife when he passed, then she could be buried there. But she's his ex, and yes, buried there. But Priscilla does have a living child that has, Navarone. Priscilla can be buried next to Navarone, not in that order because he's young, next to her own parents. She can be buried with her own family. Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. But we can't ignore the fact that Lisa Marie and Benjamin are buried in the meditation garden and they are her daughter and grandchild. That is fact. We're not getting away from that. So the people that are making a decision will have to bear that in mind, that Lisa Marie is her daughter. We've got very strong views, haven't we, about the relationship between Priscilla and Lisa. Very strong views, yeah? It's not us that are making the decision. Like you say, the zoning committee and other people as well. So Priscilla needs money. That's why Priscilla is appearing at the show. Cheryl, I 100% agree Priscilla needs money. 100%. She's in trouble. Don't forget the lawsuit must be very expensive for her, very expensive. And she's not earning the kind of money that she used to. She's just recently been offering discount coupons for the show that's in England, just up the road from me here in October. Priscilla's coming to the Hippodrome in Bristol and she can't sell enough tickets. So she's now offering discount tickets on her Instagram page. You can go and look for yourselves, guys.
Heard from family stories. Yet, she's the one deciding how his legacy gets commercialized, how his image gets used.
Tammy, I don't agree with you. You say that Shelby County will lose a lot of money from the tourist attractions. I don't agree. I don't think it will make any difference. I think that Gracelands will always be a gold mine. It will always be a gold mine. If Priscilla is buried next to Elvis at Gracelands,
and how his story gets told to future generations. Think about what that means.
Yeah, Tammy, I understand what you're saying. There will definitely be some people, like you just mentioned, that refuse to go um, to. You just said that some will go to the birthplace in Tupelo to pay respects to Elvis instead. Yeah, I agree that I don't doubt it, and I also agree that there will be thousands of people that refuse to go to Graceland if Priscilla is buried there. But it still will be a very, very successful business. The, Priscilla being in Graceland's meditation garden is not going to end that business. It will always make hundreds of millions of pounds forever. It's Elvis. It's Elvis. But I do understand your point.
For the authenticity of Elvis's memory. The decisions about his legacy are no longer being made by someone who loved him, lived with him, and understood his vision.
Okay, well, good. That comment that was just on there on the channel, good. So no, Jamie, no, I'm not going. No, to be honest with you, they wouldn't let me in anyway, would they? Does anyone here think that they would let me into a Priscilla show? Maybe they would. So no, I have no. What's the word? I have no feeling to go and watch Priscilla. None at all. Nothing in me wants to go and sit in front of her and listen to her talking for an hour. I agree with Senso. Exes don't get buried next to exes. It's ridiculous. It's unheard of.
They're being made by a Hollywood actress who inherited control through legal documents. That's not preservation. That's corporate management of a cultural icon. And here's where Priscilla's lies because...
So Mike says Priscilla no longer has authority or income from Graceland. I agree, except for the 100 grand a year. Mike, she still gets 100 grand a year. I completely agree. She has no authority, and other than the 100 grand a year, well, Mike, she does get 100 grand a year. But I said that half an hour ago. I said that last week and the week before and the week before. I know about the deal that Riley Keough settled with Bridget Cruz and Priscilla. I know the deal quite well. I've done so many programs discussing it. If you go over my live streams in the last year, I have covered the settlement between Riley and Priscilla about 20 times. So I'm fully aware, guys. Right, let's keep going.
...become really damaging. By pretending she still has influence, she's giving fans false hope that someone who actually knew Elvis is still protecting his memory. When people see her interviews, they think the Elvis legacy is in good hands. They don't realize that the person making the real decisions is someone who views Elvis as a business asset rather than a cultural treasure. The licensing deals that are already happening prove this point. Since Riley took control, we've seen Elvis's image used in ways that would have horrified Priscilla during her years of careful management.
Oh, that's such a load of bullshit. That sentence is bullshit. Yeah? And see, it's all getting a bit silly now. So I'm starting to lose interest in this video. That it really is ridiculous. But let's answer a few comments. So yeah, I'm definitely not going to see Priscilla. Yeah. Unfortunately, Mike, you're wrong. She does have income. So Lisa says Lisa didn't talk to her mother for 8 years up to her death. I think that's very possible, Tammy. I do know about the falling out concerning Barry Siegel and all the wrongdoing and how they squandered her money with American Idol and other investments. Yes, I agree. But let's have a look. I pray she's not buried there. I do, the majority of Elvis fans that have done their research don't want Priscilla buried there. I accept that. It will make a difference. So you say, I believe it will make a difference. It will, but it won't stop it being a massive cash cow. It will always be a cash cow. Well, you think there'll be a decline. Yes, there'll be a decline with the people that know what they're talking about. The people that have done their research, that understand the truth and know that this is bullshit, there'll be a decline. But to the Priscilla fans, the people that believe the fake fairy tale, the people that believe the bullshit, that have been tricked and conned for the last 50 years, there'll be an increase. There'll be an increase. Telling you, it will make no difference. It will make no difference. But there will be some very upset Elvis fans that will refuse to go, which I said 10 minutes ago. Yeah. Mike, Joel Weishanker won't allow Priscilla to be buried at Graceland. I tend to agree with you, Mike. I don't think Joel Weishanker likes Priscilla. I agree with that, but it isn't up to him. He is part of a management team. He is one of the management team. Yeah. Don't forget, we've got the zoning commission and committee, whatever you call it, Memphis City. We've got obviously Riley and other, there's many things that are going to decide what happens with Priscilla when she dies. Many things. It won't just be Joel Weishanker. Elvis wouldn't. I agree, Vincenzo. I 100% agree. Elvis would not want Priscilla buried at the meditation garden. I agree, especially because of what happened to Lisa Marie. So 100% I'm on your side there, Vincenzo. Southern Girl, I could ask her a few questions that no one dares to. Southern Girl, I'll be surprised if they even would let me in the room. But I doubt that they will allow the type of questions that I'm going to ask. Yeah, they're quite funny, really. So I agree, 100k isn't much, Mike. I agree with that. Not for Priscilla. Josie, we haven't seen you for a week or so. Priscilla only wants to be buried at Graceland so people won't forget her, not because she loves Elvis. Fully agree. Fully agree. Priscilla wants to be buried. Priscilla wants to be remembered forever. We know that. We know that, guys. This has nothing to do with her loving Elvis. This has nothing to do with Elvis being the love of her life. Elvis is not the love of her life. We know that. It's Marco Garibaldi. We know that. So I agree with you, Josie. I definitely don't think Elvis would want her buried there. No way. I don't think Elvis would have wanted Priscilla to be in charge of Graceland. Not for a second. Not for a second. I agree, 100k isn't much, Chris. Chris, you're right. The video is bullshit. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, Debbie, it's crap. It's crap. What would Ginger Alden say, saying that she wants to be buried next to Elvis as his fiancée? I know that she wouldn't. Interesting question. I'm always pro Riley. Yeah, I love Riley. I think she's great. The pressure that Riley's been under, the stuff that she's had to go through and endure since her mum died is unbelievable. Unbelievable. But she does get a hard time. She gets a lot of hate. Many Elvis fans do not like Riley. Many Elvis fans. I get some pretty horrible comments concerning Riley, and I feel sorry for her. Yeah, you're right, Josie. You're right, Josie. A woman who let her boyfriend abuse her daughter has no right to be buried where a loving family lays rest. I agree. Josie, I'm with you. Fully agree. I think Riley has to pay her 100k, not EPE. Maybe I was wrong. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, but that's it. That's irrelevant, isn't it? That isn't the point here. That isn't the point. We were discussing if she gets any income, whether it's be EPE or Gracelands. Yeah. So, but Joel Weishanker said on NBC that she no longer is employed. Yeah, true. That's true, Mike. Priscilla stood by Lockwood instead. I've heard. Yeah, Tammy, I know about all this, which should never have happened. I agree. They went through a horrid divorce in 2016. I agree. And one day, Tammy, we may discuss it. Shall I tell you why I haven't discussed the Lockwood situation? Obviously, it's quite serious. There was very serious allegations made against Michael Lockwood, yeah? I don't discuss it because I want to respect Finley and Harper. Because let's face it, he is the father of Finley and Harper. He has, he looks after them. Yeah? So I'm not going to start slagging off Michael Lockwood when we are here to defend and protect Finley and Harper. Yeah? Get it? I'm not doing it. I don't want Finley and Harper to see me on a YouTube channel slagging off their dad. I won't do it. I respect them too much. That's my personal feelings, okay? Elvis was the best partner she ever had. He bloody was, yeah. The graves at Gracie, Riley owns. The graves are at Graceland. Riley owns Graceland. Yes, she does. But she doesn't control it. This is the point I'm trying to make. EPE leased. The lease was given to EPE when they did the deal way back 2003 or 5. I can't remember the year. And they paid I think it was $3 million up front forever. Forever. Yeah? So, no, Gracelands run the Living Museum. They run the Living Museum, and the gravesite is part of that Living Museum. They don't own it, but they run it, and they have controlling interest. They do have a lease, and the lease was 99 years. So it isn't straightforward. Yeah, but Nora, I'm not going to say things like that. Remember, Nora, I don't do any name calling. I don't go down the road. I actually feel sorry for her when it comes to what you just mentioned. I don't wish that on anyone. Sorry. Remember, there's no hate with me. We defend with love and kindness. Yeah? Now, we will have our serious disagreements. Agree to disagree. We're very strong-minded. We're very passionate. But we will do it in a respectful way. We will do it in a respectful way. You've been busy with the grandkids. That's cool, Josie. Would EPE 85% override Riley's 15? Definitely. But remember, we're not talking about ownership of the building, are we? We're not talking about Graceland's, Elvis's home, Gladys's home. We're talking about Elvis Presley Enterprises, which you have to Google it. If you Google it, you will see all the breakdown of Elvis Presley Enterprises. It's more than one management team. It's not just Authentic Brands. Yeah? It comes up straight away. You Google it, it comes up. So Riley can be buried at Graceland because she's Lisa's. Yeah? But it's the same problem, isn't it? In fact, any of the Riley, Finley or Harper, there's always going to be an issue with the plots. Isn't there? Always at Gracelands in the meditation garden. So, yeah, Tammy, I definitely agree. I definitely love it. Yes, Tammy, you understand. Come on, Tammy, I've read your comments, yeah, on our Facebook. Your comments are very smart. You do a lot of research, a lot more than me. You probably have a lot more knowledge than me. But Finley and Harper, they are the future. Riley, she is the future. So we have to show respect. I understand, Mike. I'm concerned the twins are growing up too fast. I get it. But aren't all teenagers now? Teenagers now, in our decade, it's just the way it is. I agree with you, Louis. Finley and Harper are too young to hear this mess. I'm sure they heard too much. I'll tell you what, if I was 16, because they're nearer 17 now, aren't they? If I was 16, 17, I would know everything because I was a nosy teenager. I would know exactly what's going on with Lisa, their mum, who they worship and miss. I would completely be in the know with Elvis and his history. Come on, why wouldn't you be? Why wouldn't you be? Teenagers at home, in their bedrooms, on their phones, laptops, PC, whatever, iPads. They know lots. Don't underestimate them. Don't, because they're 16 going on 17, act like they're 5 years old. Yeah? They know everything. They know everything. How were you when you were 16, 17? I'll tell you, I left home at 15. I left home at 15. By 17, I was a grown-up. By 19, I had my first business. 19 years old, I had my first business. Don't treat them like they're little babies. They're not. Yeah? Lisa was smart to sign a lease agreement that would protect Gracelands for generations to come. Disney offered her $200 million in cash, but she turned it down. Mike, I don't agree. I don't agree, Mike. It was the biggest mistake that she ever made. And I think she was very badly advised. That's just my opinion. Very badly advised. If Priscilla wasn't around, it would never have happened. My opinion, just an opinion for entertainment purposes. Yeah, but Josie, come on, let teenagers be teenagers. Come on, even my kids, don't forget my kids are 15, 17 and 18. They're half naked, aren't they? The kids now are dressed half naked. They go on Instagram with their phones making all funny poses. Come on, that's normal. It doesn't mean I agree with it, but it's normal. Debbie, I love the twins. They're going to come through and do great. I think so. They definitely are Christian girls. They love Elvis. Their favourite song is Crying in the Chapel. They sing Elvis songs. I've heard them singing Elvis songs on their Instagram. They're lovely girls. They're really polite and well-mannered. I've listened to them talking to people. They are lovely girls. Lovely. They love their mum. Of course, they also love their dad. They miss their mum so much. Yeah, they've gone through hell. They have gone through hell. I'm glad Elvis had a granddaughter with a stable personality that will run and take care of his estate. Yeah, that's fine. She's a smart girl. She's a self-made smart girl. So if Grayston was given only 6 graves by the city more constitute a cemetery, anyone could be buried there. So Vernon only took 6 graves. Yeah, Chris, they're going to change it. No matter what you say, they're going to change it. Yeah. So, just an opinion. Yes, absolutely. The twins are the future of Grayston. They are 16. So they're 17 in October. Okay. Thank you, Tammy. I think Elvis would be proud of Finley and Harper. So do I. I think they're lovely. Come on. The older generation, like me, people in their 60s and 70s, won't agree with all the Instagram stuff, It's different times, guys. It's a phone generation. The phone generation has changed everything. Yeah, they're growing up too fast. From what I see, Vincenzo, they're lovely girls. Depends on how they're exposed at a young age. I see what you say, but they got phones. If you got a phone, you're exposed to everything. My kids have had phones since they were Well, my older kids, I gave them phones when they were about 10. My younger kids, Tino, who is 5, and Yasmin, who is 8, they've got phones because all their friends have. When they go to school, all their friends have got phones now. It's a new generation, guys. I don't want to give my kids phones. The biggest argument I have with Yasmin and Tino is the phones. The phones. My older kids, when they were like 12, 13, 14, the number one thing we argued about was phones. You're not getting away from the way things are now. It's just the way it is, guys. It's not very nice. Phones are a pain in the arse. I didn't say they were babies, but I believe their father, I'm sure, tried to keep them from the limelight as much as possible. I think he did initially. I'm not sure about now. I do agree kids are corrupted early through social media. I 100% agree with that. Does anyone have proof that Priscilla married Marco? Has anyone seen the marriage certificate? I'd like to see it. I thought she was always said she was never married. So that's for another day, a different topic, but that's quite a common question. So Riley moved close to the twins to have closer relationship with them. Yep, I've read all that. Thank you, Chris. My kids had only phones once they were in high school. Yeah, I mean, I was much, right, Josie, that was a good thing, yeah? I was much stricter with my older kids. Now that a new generation coming through, my younger kids that are 5 and 8, it's a lot more difficult because their friends visit, we visit their friends, they've all got phones. It's completely normal now for kids even 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to have phones. So there's a lot of pressure on us, the parents, and we end up arguing every day, 5, 6, 7 times a day with the kids about phones. So it's a battle. It's a battle, guys. My nieces are 17, 16, 13 and are always on their phones. It's normal. I don't like it. Vincenzo, I don't like it. It's the way it is. I love Finley and Harper too. They are beautiful, very smart. Yeah. Jamie Presley Mania has investigated as much as possible. There are still questions of the marriage. Yeah, that's the Marco Garibaldi, Garcia, you know, so-called Brazilian, Italian bullshit. She liked him a lot because even when Priscilla found out everything about Marco, she stayed with him. She was. I found this with Priscilla. She gets infatuated with the man she likes, and then she moves on. Yeah, but with Marco Garibaldi, it was 22-year infatuation. Okay, guys. Right, guys, that was a very long live, much longer than I was expecting. I was going to do a follow-on live. I don't think I've got time now. So thanks for joining me. Guys, it's fine that we can agree to disagree. It's okay. It's okay, Chris. We can agree to disagree. I do appreciate all the advice you give me, Chris. Please know that. You give me a lot of good advice. I put it onto our Defending Elvis Facebook page. You go and have a look. Whenever you give good advice, I post it on our Defending Elvis Facebook page. I appreciate the help, but I don't owe anyone. People want to help me? Great, thank you. I don't owe you. Yeah, I don't owe anyone. Yeah. I do like to keep things civil and polite and friendly and respectful. Of course I do. And it doesn't matter if it gets a bit heated, if we disagree on stuff, if we agree to disagree. It's all right, guys. I move on like that. If I have a heated debate with someone, 5 minutes later, it's forgotten. It's forgotten. I don't carry grudges. I'm ready to move on and forgive and all the rest of it. Yeah. There's no anger with me. I defend with love, but I will disagree with people. I will disagree with people. I will be firm. I will speak my mind. I don't lie to people. I'm not an arse kisser. If I want to disagree with someone, I'm going to. Even if I fall out with them, I will disagree with people. I'm not here to agree with everyone and say, yes, you're right. I won't do it. I won't do it. As soon as I'm the sort of person that just says yes to everybody that talks to me on a discussion, it's game over. I will always stand by my opinion, what I believe. Now, my opinions can be swayed. I listen, I learn. People give me their opinions and they can change my mind. Yes, people can change my mind on things. And with Carolyn, who said a few things, I always allow people to have their opinions. I always allow people to have their opinions. That is one thing I do. Yeah. So I think I'm very fair, but I also stand my ground. If I don't want to agree with someone, I'm not going to. Yeah. I don't lie. If I say something, I mean it. I never lie. Like Superman said, Lois, I never lie. Okay, guys, we're out of here. Take care, everyone. Love you all. You're all the best. Thank you. We'll see you on the next video, next live stream.